Hey, what's going on, guys? What's going on, YouTubers? I'm going to talk to you today about how South Africa's Democratic Alliance is basically done for. They have lost its way. The DA has lost its way. Now, let me explain this. The DA has come out addressing the nation, complaining about the Bella Bill. Now, the Bella Bill, but they didn't really object to it passing. They just said they were going to have a committee member review it. Well, the Bella Bill is the basic Law Education Act. It basically forces people to go to school, like domestic servants that live in neighborhoods that really don't have the means to get their kids to school because they work during the day. They homeschool their kids at nighttime. Well, now it really is forcing them to take their kids to school when they really don't have the means or the resources to take their kids to school. But then also it forces English as a medium language of instruction. But basically that's a war on Afrikaans, because for years the South African government, led by the African National Congress, has been trying to shut down Afrikaans language schools and stop education in the Afrikaans language. It's basically a war on Afrikaans, as well as African tribal languages of African tribes that oppose the ANC. Basically, it's basically just a way for the ANC to monopolize and control the education system and to lie about South Africa's history, which they have for several years. Now, but the most recent thing that the Democratic Alliance complained about, even though in the government and national unity, was the expropriation without compensation that was recently signed into law. Well, the leader of the DA, John Steenhuisen, said he had wrote to Cyril Ramaphosa several times, and Cyril Ramaphosa didn't respond. But all John Steenhuisen is doing is basically whining about it. He's really not taking any action. The Democratic Alliance is not threatening to leave the government and national unity. They're not daring the African National Congress to develop a coalition with MK and EFF. Now, everybody calls the MK, EFF, ANC coalition a doomsday coalition. Well, there's so much infighting within the EFF that many of the leaders left to go to the MK. Those three parties can never coexist, because those three parties, the ANC, MK, and EFF, are so self-absorbed. They're so self-serving in the name. Now, they give a revolutionary name or name to be champions of poor people, but they're basically self-serving people who just care about their power. So those parties won't be able to exist. What would happen if that coalition happened? It would happen just a few months. And then the African National Congress would be begging the Democratic Alliance and the Freedom Front Plus to come back in the government and national unity. But the Democratic Alliance and the Freedom Front Plus are scared to stand up to the African National Congress right now. And the African National Congress, the ANC, are walking all over them and doing whatever the heck they want. And they know that the Democratic Alliance is not going to speak out in opposition very harshly or be very risk-taking about it, because the Democratic Alliance is all up in eggshells and all worried about an ANC, MK, EFF coalition. Well, as it stands right now, South Africa has not become any more livable. The expropriation without compensation is going to drive away any foreign investment in South Africa, and South Africa is in dire need of foreign investment. Now, the Democratic Alliance says they're going to take this to court, but I don't see how this is going to happen, because the Democratic Alliance forms the government of national unity. There is no backbone in the Democratic Alliance right now, and people are not going to vote for the Democratic Alliance the next election because they're tired of them selling out to the African National Congress every chance they get. The Democratic Alliance didn't object to the passing of the Bella Bill, which will basically kill the Afrikaans language and go after Afrikaans schools. The expropriation without compensation, they've just written letters to Cyril Ramaphosa on. And they say they're going to take them to court. But again, you're part of the government and national unity. You're not threatening to leave the government and national unity unless changes are made, which is what the Democratic Alliance needs to do. The Democratic Alliance has been basically silent on so many issues, and the African National Congress is pushing through whatever the African National Congress is wanting to do. And it's basically just to hold on to their power and bully people, including the other people that are in the government and national unity. I mean, the coalition partners in this government and national unity are just so on eggshells right now, so scared to speak out of anything because they're terrified of an ANC, MK, EFF coalition, which those three parties will never be able to coexist. So, hope everybody's doing well. Take care. God bless. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.